Sometimes you could do everything right and still just take a losing setup. And that's what we've been doing so far this week, finding myself now with 2 losing days. If you've been a returning viewer, you know I had no losing days in March. So to have back-to-back losing days this week and 3 so far this month, this is the average. This is the normal. You're going to lose trades. But I like the VWAP setup we had today. Could it have been better? Sure. But let's go into the first one here. I normally like the longs. I'm pretty quick to fall in love with the longs because buyers have just been so strong, moving us to this all-time high. So when I see this open come in bearish, and keep in mind, we did spend a little bit of time before the open below this daily VWAP. And if you're confused on any of these VWAPs, I explained it all in my strategy. The link's down below on ASFX TV. Go study that for free. But we move lower, but we find support here at the previous day's New York Open. So I'm not a seller yet because we still are higher highs and higher lows on the week, even though it's only Tuesday. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. Let me see if we can move lower than this. If we break through this VWAP, then sure, I'm going to be a seller because then we have full alignment to the downside being below all 3 of them now. But at the time being, we still are holding this one underneath. So there's a potential long in here. I don't take that because we're still underneath some VWAPs. But once we break above, saying buyers are in control, we now retest the opening range high and the overnight VWAP. If this is going to be our higher low, and we work our way back up for a higher high in line with this bullish trend, the one we had yesterday, weeks prior as we were on this all-time high rip, right? I would have wanted to be in that. This is the key level that I trade off of every single day. It's pointing towards buyers took control there. Let me follow them for the longs. But it didn't work out that way. It actually cuts right back beneath all the VWAPs again to stop me out. Now, in this long, could I have maybe bailed on it sooner once we break back below somewhere around here? Because this is on NQ. ES had already looked uglier than this out of the gate and while this is forming. But once we get back below, I now see we couldn't break outside the open range high. We're back below both VWAPs. All right, what's going on here? But maybe stubborn because I like my stop losses a lot of the time, saying I know a higher low can be here and still work our way back up. And I'll look back from this low here and say, yep, we are still climbing higher on the bottom. Why'd I get out of my long? So being zoomed in on those longs, I didn't really see the shorts wanting to come in. So they steamrolled me, right? It was a controlled loss. You actually see here, the exit was actually trimming one contract because on stream someone asked, isn't that $600 worth of risk, not $300? And I was like, you're right. I have 3 contracts on this, not 2. So it was actually $400 worth of risk. But regardless, I was like, oh, I'm actually a little bit heavy for this type of setup because it's not full trend. Although I like the setup, this is not what our most beautiful continuation plays look like. But I do feel the need I need to try it because it still is valid. Now let's take a look at this one later on in the afternoon. I take a small scalp short. The volatility got me. I didn't get break even on this, thankfully, but the quick spike down, not knowing what it was, not wanting to find out what it was either, and see this thing leave a pin and rip right back up because I don't know what's happening. I got out of that for a small win. Now, I don't think it makes a new low a day anyways, but just notice how once you get stopped out in the long here, I think I have a better markup for this one. This is the one you want to pay attention to. The longs back here. This isn't exactly where I longed it, but let's say you played the long off these 2 VWAPs here, looking for the trend continuation. I think if that happened, you would have liked that trade a lot, and you wouldn't be too confused either. But it loses, so that's why you see this stop out here. But then once it makes a lower low outside the opening range low, beneath both of those VWAPs again, you should not still be looking for longs. There's no way. You could arguably stop looking for them here, but definitely once they make a new low of day, lower low, buyers couldn't hold above this VWAP, we're probably moving lower. But where do we want to sell it? At the New York VWAP. Same place I want to buy it at the VWAP, I'll sell it at the VWAP. So you could take a short here on this retest as it makes a lower high. Stop loss at the opening range high, because if this breaks above, you don't want to be short anymore. Drift that back down to the low. Another pullback to VWAP. Trade that one back down. That's obviously the lot stronger one, but you could take this small scalp as well. But a lot of people as well, I don't think I have it marked up, took the break below New York here. And I honestly don't hate it. I just didn't see it because I'm in the long. So I'm not believing, yeah, that's a good setup. That goes against my long. But it is a good setup. Seeing that buyers try to take it, they can't. This is probably our lower high. And we're coming back down. So good job to anyone that took that first short. But even if you miss it, even if you took the long with me on stream and lost, you shouldn't be oversized. Notice how I trimmed one off at break even, thankfully, once I realized it's a little bit too much risk that if I lose this one, I'm not going to really want to trade again. So let me cut the risk down just in case this does lose And would you look at that? It did lose, so I saved myself some money just having that realization. It's a little bit too heavy. But then we pivot, you can find more shorts. So no one trade should mean anything. You shouldn't be too over risked and scared to lose, and also take it personally of like, what did I miss? Why wasn't that a good setup? Could it have been better? Sure. Our best opens and best trades don't look like it's moving lower, right back up above every VWAP and then right back below it. Pretty choppy, pretty sideways, pretty indecisive, but at the end of the day, there were some moves to be made around this VWAP. So you could have made some money as long as you didn't lock yourself out after that first loss. Now I did because I'm just not trading the account well right now. I had the loss yesterday and this one as well, but 358 could have been way worse because it was going to be $600 because it was going to be 4 contracts. No, it was going to be 3 contracts times, let's round it up to a 100-point stop, which is 6 times 100. But anyways, looking at it here, New York VWAP is what pays. I want to go over the chart here and you'll see just how choppy it was. It's still very, very slow here. But let's zoom it on out to the 15-minute. And I'm not going to just try to be a perma bear forever, obviously. But you see what we did yesterday. I have a YouTube recap on this whole day. We longed it up here. I guess for this example, we could put on the overnight VWAP. And looks like this in black. That it was higher highs and higher lows pre-market, right? All overnight. I'm looking to be a buyer. So that's why I longed it up here once we got a small pullback. Not the best. Because if it continues higher, everything is pointing towards longs. Do I need to zoom out anymore and show you how bullish it's been? So I'm not a seller. I'm not saying the trend is bearish by any means. It's longs or nothing until it breaks below VWAPs. But even then, when I zoom it back in, the shorts came in, but they didn't really stand forever. It just went right back to the low, tested it again, held this level, and crawled higher in the afternoon. So it still was a bullish day. It ended right where I pretty much bought it. And I wasn't wrong on wanting to look for longs. It wasn't like, oh yeah, it was a big bearish day, you should have been short. No, there was money short, but the trend was in fact bearish or bullish like I thought. But it just didn't do it in the way that I thought. Arguably, today, definitely bearish. No doubt about that. But you look at it, it's not changing the trend by any means. We could still see a bullish day today or tomorrow into the next day. And you're like, yeah, these are just pullbacks in this bullish trend. Similar to how this is. This is a pullback, and then we rip back higher, pull back, move higher. This could be our pullback to make our next leg back up. So there's going to be bearish days. There's going to be money to be made to the downside in these bullish trends for sure. And we found ourselves on the day where it wanted to pull back. There was no buyers in it. But I don't think I was wrong looking for buyers out of the gate because especially when you zoom it out to where we took the long. Let's go back to my markup real quick. I took the long at 1026. What are we looking like at 1026? This is 1015. Let's take a look here. At 1026, what are we looking like? So we're right here. These are the candles on the 15-minute for the week. Higher highs and higher lows. We just pinned off of the previous day's New York VWAP. Now back above the overnight VWAP. If this trades back into the highs, why would I not be long? So I get it. I lost money on the longs. Maybe I look at them too hard. But if that went higher, I would have said, what are you doing not buying that? What are you going to sell it back down? Well, today, yeah. But not knowing what the outcome was going to be, I do stand by that long, even though the 1-minute structure of it, yeah, wasn't the prettiest. So hopefully you didn't get too chopped up. Hopefully you're not putting too much risk on any one trade. That's the one key lesson of all this. You're going to take losses. Inevitable. You're going to have losing trades, losing days, losing weeks. But just keep the risk in check. Make sure you study my full VWAP strategy here. It's absolutely free. It's also where I'm live streaming every morning. So you'll see us take these trades and we'll get back on our hot streak. One thing to remind you guys as well with these 2 red days, they're pretty small, so it is controlled, but it is what it is. But look back on the week prior, the week before that one, we're still fine on the month. We still could even end this week green. It's just you can't be too zoomed in on 1 or 2 days. Yes, it sucks to be back-to-back red, but it's like it's not just a print green forever. And I'm not caring about these 2 days. Trade another 20 days, 20 sessions. You're not even going to remember these 2 days. They're going to just get lost in all the data. It's just a little blip. So keep on pushing forward. Don't over risk. But now with that said, I am going to take a payout because with 2 red days in a row, who the hell knows what follows this? Maybe a third one. So I took a screenshot of my TPT account so you can't see the password. But I am going to withdraw 1,200 from this one and then still keep a 2K balance in there. So hopefully we can take another payout on that. The idea with this one was to build it a little bit larger, maybe 5 to 10K and take that out at the end of the month. But I honestly don't trade it all that much because I'm focused on my TOF accounts, taking those to a second payout because if you haven't seen, I made a YouTube video on it. I took 4 payouts in March on my TOF accounts. And so I'm trying to take them to another one from the same account, surviving that $500 drawdown that I had left in it, and we got them back up. So we're just going to take the small payout here, feed myself a little bit with 2 red days in a row. We don't need to let revenge or anger somehow slip in there and I blow this account. So let's just take the money while it's there, and then we'll build it up again, take another one. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll show you guys this on stream tomorrow morning once we withdraw it. But trade safe, and I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning.